Go gadget incest. That's right. Greetings, fellow armchair imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
Jacob Wild 2.
And Chloe Coinga.
All right, and we are talking Rick and Morty Season 5, Episode 7. Gotron, Jerrysis, Rickvangelion. Woo. All right. So, is it, Jacob, I assume you've seen Evangelion?
Yes.
I thought so. Claude, have you seen it?
No.
Dragon, I assume you have not?
Well, I've sampled some. Here's the thing: I've sampled a couple of. I've sampled. I'm pretty sure I've sampled that, but there's so many permutations of it, and so many sequel series. I don't know which one I saw, but I saw some of that, and I've seen. I've grasped the mech concept.
There really aren't any sequel series, just like the original series, a movie as an alternate ending, and then a series of subsequent movies made many years later.
Well, you know what I mean? Between the movies and just like there's like always like the extra like kind of thing at the end of the title. It's like, wow, man, I don't know if I've seen that at Evangelion. I don't know.
And my knowledge of giant mechs basically extends to like Power Rangers and the Iron Giant and Pacific Rim. So
well, I mean, Iron Giant doesn't. I don't know if that really counts as like a mech thing. Tiki.
I guess it doesn't.
Well, here's one that you and I have both seen. One I'm very familiar with. One that you at least saw the first season of, Megas XLR. Now there's a mech. Right. There's a mech for you.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, something I am very familiar with though.
Technically, this doesn't really have anything to do with much to do more with Voltron than anything with Neon Genesis.
This has more to do with Martin Scorsese than anything else. And I kind of like. Okay. Guys, I'm just going to say, I keep going back and forth with this episode. I think this episode for me...
It's a tricky one, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the hardest one to put my finger on the whole season, honestly. I think overall my grade is probably a B, kind of verging on B+. I can't quite put it up in A. I guess really quick pros and cons for me. Pros are that I think Summer's arc in this season is really coming full circle. I think we're going to look back at season 5 as, pardon the pun, the season of Summer. I think she's getting a lot of great development. I really like the Scorsese send-ups they do. On the negative side of things, I think this episode was another example of this show maybe trying to cram a few too many plot lines in. Like it kind of felt like a buffet where there was a lot of good food on the table, but none of it really came together into a satisfying meal. I take that analogy from the Wisecrack podcast about this. Don't want to be accused of ripping off observations. They made that astute observation, and I agree with it. So, how y'all feeling about this one?
Dragon?
Yeah, I am. Well, wait, actually, Jacob, you go first.
Wait, what? Wait, why me?
Yeah, you go first. You're always passing the buck to me. You go first.
All right, fair enough. I like 2/3 of this episode. I mean, I'm not as familiar with Scorsese's works as I am with, say, more like anime-ish and other stuff like that. But I mean, I did notice a lot of the tropes there. So that's my take of it. But basically, it had me for the first 2/3 of it, and then it just kind of lost itself later. It's like it got basically too caught up in its own tangled web of knots.
So it's the Jungle Cruise movie?
I didn't say anything like that, and I still think that's more coherent. I still think that's more coherent than this.
I actually disagree with that statement, to tell you the truth. I think the Jungle Cruise movie is less coherent than this, but I digress. Claude, what do you think?
Yeah, I like the episode. Mostly the parts that didn't involve the incest baby. And I like how that wasn't really the main focus. That came way later.
Thank God, right? That was a relief.
Yeah. Because, like you said last time, it made it look like that was going to be the whole episode.
Essentially what I thought this was going to be was I thought it was going to be like Armageddon, except instead of stopping the comet, they're stopping the incest baby.
Yeah. But no, it's mostly about them stopping other monsters and then stopping these group of people that originally own the drone in the first place.
Mm-hmm. And
it's mostly about Summer too. So.
And unless I'm mistaken, you can really tell that these guys the people who wrote this haven't really watched anime in a very long time.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like we're talking like speed
Especially
racer
with Summer's
style
line,
anime cliches.
It's like yeah, you can tell they didn't do research on modern stuff at all. Like one of the lines Summer says in the episode, like you really need to watch more anime. I was like, yeah, she should say that to the writers of this episode.
I think it was like, honestly, I think it's either one of two things. I think either the writers of the episode knew they were out of touch with modern episode anime, and so they kind of like wrote into the joke of it, or I wouldn't be surprised if they are in touch with modern anime and they just decided to go the joke route of like, okay, we're gonna lean into the most hardcore like speed racer, like old school anime tropes that we can.
Yeah, that doesn't make it good or funny though.
I got a chuckle out. I'll say the anime stuff was probably the least funny stuff in the episode. I still got a chuckle out of it though.
I'm a sucker for a good speed racer gag. So,
right.
That's just me. Yeah, so this episode, I'm split on this episode. On one hand, I think it's clever with, the Voltron, the Voltron, but all the anime satire kind of mixed with, kind of a Scorsese crime drama, kind of the mob movies of the day.
I think the Scorsese stuff was definitely the highlight of the episode for me. No question.
Yeah, and that's the stuff I'm liking. But by the same token, the incest baby returns, and also I think, I think the multitude, the multitude of multiple family members is the fact. This is like, not the. I'm not saying it's like the first time we've done it, but clearly it's like the. Just this season alone, I want to say like the third or fourth time we've done multiple family members as a story, and it's getting a little stale.
I don't mind. To me, it's not as old as the president stuff getting old.
Well, here's the thing, though, Tika. I'm watching the episode, and it's like, okay, so we have other variations of the family, and I just think
Hothead Rick Dragon,
or you could yes.
I'm sorry.
No,
honestly, this mafia stuff could have been its own episode.
Yeah,
I do agree about that.
So outside of that's what I'm saying. We have like different versions of them. I'm saying we just have the same gag of like, hey, we replace a family. We have clones. We have decoys. We have this and this and this of the Smith family. Again, I'm saying at this point, this episode kind of hit me. It's like, oh no, I think I'm getting a little numb to this because they've done it too many times. Where it's like, hey, we have multiple members of the family commiserating outside of our really creative, and I do love the lineup of the 5 Rick families. That's great. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. No one's different enough. It's the same, and we've done it again. And this season, we keep making points about it.
Do you think it would have been a little bit better if the families weren't just blatant mafia cliches?
I don't mind the mafia cliche thing, though. It just bugs me that, it's yet again, it's like, hey, it's just pretty much outside of a Rick's, it's the same family again.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm following.
I'm just saying, I think we just keep doing this in this season alone.
Maybe it would have been stronger if we would have, if the other family members besides Rick leaned more into the mafia stuff.
I mean, sure. I mean, just make them different somehow. I mean, sure, mafia thing would probably be stronger, but I'm just saying, like, when we have the moment later in the episode where Summer is laying off Jerry and Beth, and it's like, well, is it her, Jerry and Beth? I mean, who can really tell at this point? Do I care?
I'm really glad you mentioned that because
that's where it dawned on me. It's like I think I'm kind of numb to it at this point. We had like a whole decoy episode where it's like we've gone to this well too many times, and this is the marker. I'm just throwing my hands up in the air. It's like, again, guys, come on.
I do think that the waters were intentionally muddied this episode. I think it was kind of like the point of okay, so Jacob, can you kind of like clear me in? Because I know Evangelion has some themes of like you get lost in like the robots are supposed to be like an addiction or something like that, right? Isn't there some sort of allegory there?
Well, it's more like this. Well, this is kind of spoilers for like a nearly 30-year-old anime at this point. It's more like the giant robots are actually have the souls of the pilot's deceased parents or something along those lines.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, but trust me, that show gets really messed up. but I mean, I haven't seen it for like a year.
You know what show actually caught my eye recently that I do want to check out, that I've heard a lot about but I've never actually watched, is Attack on Titan.
Oh, that's actually really good.
Yeah, that show looks super interesting.
It's like I wouldn't say there's like an addiction per se. It's more like an aversion in a lot of cases.
Okay.
Well, like one character kind of gets there's not really an addiction plot line or anything like that as far as I can recall. At least not in maybe there's one in the new movies, but I haven't.
All
seen
right,
those.
well, never mind. I was trying to make a connection that's clearly not there. My bad.
I mean, I might need to rewatch it, but I don't recall it. I mean, there's like synchronization and everything like that, but that's probably as far as that goes.
Let's talk about for a second how we get to mechs in the first place.
Boob World! Boob World!
I honestly like to see how they would pull Boob World off.
I really hope that we're gonna like build to Boob World in the season finale or something like that.
Something tells me we're not going to Boob World.
Dragon, don't crush a boy's dreams now.
Like, did you go to the beach? The one made with boobs? No, the one made with sand. Of course.
Okay, I will say that was probably like the best gag that came out of like the multiple families was just the fact that like our Morty was ostracized.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah. Here's the question though: when he said that, did he mean a beach that's literally just kind of like a really kind of a kind of squishy and spherical surface, or did he mean a topless beach?
Oh, I'm not even going to touch that question.
Who knows?
You've seen the opening.
I mean, honestly, with this show, I'm more inclined to believe that it's actually a beach made out of boobs.
Yeah, same.
I'm saying, like, we've had like an opening of Rick and Morty. I mean, we've changed it now, I think, but I mean, the past couple seasons, we've had everyone with butt faces and everything. I don't put it past them.
All right.
All right. So anyway, the point being, we're heading to Boob World. And I love the idea that we tried to use summer as like the Coke can at Six Flags, which I find that
was a really good metaphor. Yeah.
Yep. Only you can't throw it away like the Coke can.
Well, technically, you could just teleport Summer home.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like a social contract, It's like, well, we invited her this far. All right, so the Gotron ferret pursuit. Apparently, this has been a very long-standing desire of Rick's.
This kind of came out of nowhere, and that bothered me.
I mean, it was just nice to see like Rick be genuinely excited for something for a change.
I guess. I guess that's one way to look at it. It felt a little out of character for him to be that excited. Though.
I like the shift though. I think the shift saves it, Tiki, where we start off with like something just so earnest and so like everyone can dance to.
Totally.
It's like,
I do really like the shift. I'll give you that.
Yeah, like who doesn't like the Voltron effect? I mean, Deadpool loves Voltron. Everyone digs Voltron.
right.
5 super lion robots. That sort of thing. Anyway, so we.
I didn't really say it out of character. I mean, this is not the first time he's been overly excited about things. I mean, remember? We have Anatomy Park and the pirate exhibit after all.
Mm-hmm.
But Pirates of the Pancreas is his that is his passion. All right, that is him conquering his fears through art.
But is the fact that we took kind of a really great, sincere kind of like for Rick, and then we turned it into an enterprise, which then kind of brings in kind of the Scorsese of all. So basically, we've turned, again, we've kind of set it back to like kind of traditional Rick, but we got kind of a glimpse of like the unconventional Rick that we do like when it pops up.
Yeah.
It sounds like we haven't seen like all this season has been. He's like, oh, this sucks, or like, oh yeah, I'm greater than everybody. Here he's just like, yeah, let's just have some fun time with my family. It's like.
Okay, so with that in mind, let's transition into Jerry Watch 2021.
That's gonna be a recurring thing, isn't it?
So, Dragon.
Well, I mean, I like I like the ending with Jerry particularly where we leave him outside, kind of like Fred Flintstone style, only to be attacked by a giant bug monster. I really like that. But it's Jerry. Sometimes Jerry's doing this thing. It wasn't as egregious as other times. I'll give it that. But we had the bit where like Jerry's getting a little, he's getting a little bit on his high horse with the mob family angle. Where he's just like chewing out Morty.
Well, to be fair, so was literally everybody else.
I know everyone was. I'm just saying, in terms of the Jerry of it all, for like this little ridiculous Jerry segment we have going, I'm just weighing in on it there. So there you go. a little too big for his britches. It's like we need to take Jerry down a peg, and we did. So I'm satisfied.
All right. Well, overall, I would say this was a successful Jerry episode. Then.
All right. Well, there you go.
I mean, funnily enough, his name's even in the episode.
Oh,
and he's not.
That
even
is kind of funny because out of all the family members, besides maybe Beth, he's got the smallest role. And
he did call out my.
Yeah, Beth is basically just there in this episode.
Jerry did call out one of my favorite elements of the Voltron thing. This episode, like you take like a monorail underneath the house to get to the
Oh my god, yeah.
That was awesome. I do love that. Here's the really cool thing with the whole family bonding idea. I mean, I'm a huge fan of when we do parodies of the classic anime mech thing. Of course, we did it with Dexter's Lab with the whole family setting. So of course, it definitely took me back to that.
Oh god, that was a great episode.
Those were good times. The kind of the family, Voltron fighting a kaiju, and of course, like stuff like that. And honestly, Cartoon Network had the best sort of, given the Adult Swim of it all, I guess, makes them just kind of tailor made for in retrospect. You have like your Megas XLRs and your Dexters. Like they knew how to do mech stuff, man. That was the mech stuff I could get into.
I really need to watch Megas XLR.
You really do, Jacob. It's so good.
I'm surprised you haven't, Jacob.
Well, the
availability is not just on HBO Max, unfortunately. So that's why.
I just wasn't watching Cartoon Network on the time it was airing.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Well, it ran for 2 seasons.
I totally get that because I have a blank spot with stuff like Kids Next Door and Foster's because of that.
I mean, technically, I watched those, but I guess I missed Megas.
No, but I'm just saying I can relate to you in that, like, because I was not watching Cartoon Network at the time those were airing. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying I get it.
There was like a small window for Megas. I think it was like 2002 or 2004, perhaps. It was in kind of like that kind of area. So if you missed it for those 2 seasons, it was kind of like, plus it was looped in the Toonami, so it was like a whole thing.
I get the feeling it wasn't syndicated very much either.
I'd be shocked.
I like the theme song of Megas XLR.
Yes.
I've heard that, but I just haven't actually watched the show.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the narration thing between Summer and Modi?
That was funny. Really that was a wonderful, clever send up to the Scorsese parody.
Awesome payoff.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The voice. What is it? The voice of Arians.
And then the post-credit scene was amazing, honestly.
Yeah, the post-credit scene was really funny. My God.
Maybe one of the best post-credit scenes of the season.
Just the fact that we just kind of gave the other side a little bit of credence. Like, why do we get so many giant bug monsters? Well, yeah, they're trying to spread the word. They're trying to spread the cure for AIDS, and we're not giving them time of day.
That was honestly probably the biggest laugh of the whole episode.
That's the proper Pacific Rim sequel that we should get.
It's like, well, it's not like you turn into giant monsters that can't speak or anything. Well, then again, you might. I don't know. That was Maurice LaMarche, by the way.
Yeah, good old Mo.
Yeah.
All right, so can we break down Summer, because I really think that's where the besides the Scorsese stuff just being pretty on point, I think Summer's arc is like easily the best part of this episode. I think I really love what they've been doing with Summer just in general throughout this season.
Yeah, we have her definitely in the new power duo of Rick and Summer for sure. Like, she's very much enabling him this episode, and that kind of led him to go off the rails and just kind of 5 families of Ricks and all sorts of chaos.
Was anyone else disappointed when we saw there were like more and more families? I kind of thought the direction we were going to go is like, oh god, what if it becomes like thousands of Voltrons all linked together?
I mean, it's honestly what I was kind of hoping for.
Yeah, I was hoping for that too, because I feel like that would have been a more classic Rick and Morty premise of oh god, there's too many of them, Morty. What have I done? I've created a monster.
That's what I'm saying. I'm afraid they can only do that hat trick so often. I think that's why they're skirting that line.
Basically, could have gone from Voltron to Gurren Lagann.
Right. I'm not going to pretend that I got that reference, but
all right, I'll explain. Want me to explain it, or do you just want to move on?
If you can do the elevator pitch of the explanation.
Well, at the very end, there's basically the robot becomes so huge it can be seen moving through space.
Oh, okay, yeah, there you go. That's accurate.
Well, speaking of space,
oh no,
the baby.
Okay. I have an unpopular opinion here.
Honestly, I kind of wish we would have seen Space Beth in this one too.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
I kind of disagree. I think this episode's already a little overcrowded.
It would have been interesting to see, or at least like a cameo or something.
Yeah.
If we do space, we gotta give her something to do. So maybe, we gotta. I'm saying if we properly reintroduce Space Beth, we should give her something to do.
But you're unpopular.
Guys, I actually like the summer stuff with the incest baby.
I'm
I'm sorry.
Now we're gonna get letters.
Here's what I liked about it. I liked that it was very earnest, but at the same time, clearly it was like, okay, like you can't take it seriously, right? Because of the premise in itself. But at the same time, and I feel like the reason it worked for me was because the episode already got me so invested in Summer's character, right? So by the time we get to this plot line, I'm like, okay, I do genuinely hate the incest baby, but, her kind of like explaining like the government, the secret mission and her bonding with the baby. And like, I gotta say, I think it worked just in the context of adding to Summer's character. It's not pleasant to look at, obviously. I want it dead, but but just in the context of Summer's character arc through the episode, I thought it worked rather well.
It's funny too. There's only one incest baby you and I can both get on board with. It's not this one.
Dear God, Dragon, why is there one that we can get on board with?
Dylan Massett.
What?
What?
Dragon, no one's gonna get that.
No, I'm just telling you. There's Dylan Massett.
Okay, you're gonna have to explain that one, Dragon.
Character on Bates Motel, kids.
No, explain it. Like, actually explain it, Dragon. You set it up.
All right, fine. There is a character on Bates Motel in which there is the reveal this now beloved character was actually the byproduct of incest, and it was a very interesting storyline and a really interesting thing. So technically, there is one win in the incest baby category, and it's Dylan Massett for Bates Motel.
All right, I'm just saying, like, Dylan Massett, like, I like Dylan Massett, but, like, Bates Motel's been off air for a long time, Dragon. He's not exactly, like, currently relevant.
I'm just saying, out of, like, the odd infinitum, it's so hard I'm just saying it's so hard to get a really good incest baby working, and that was the only time to my recollection it's ever been done right.
Fair enough. All right.
To be fair, as a grown man, which made it a lot more palatable.
That's what I'm saying. Like, calling Dylan an incest baby is kind of...
I mean, technically he is, but that's what I'm saying. The successful version.
That word too, by the way. I'm sure I hate to be all paranoid about the monetization, but like, yeah, we're kind of throwing that word around a lot.
Well, no, you put it in the description.
I know. I know.
You wanted to linger on it. You say you have hot takes. This is what it breeds.
All right.
Well, you could have called it Naruto, like someone named it that.
It's Naruto.
Yeah, Naruto.
I don't even like Naruto, and I know how it's. At least I know how it's pronounced.
Naruto.
I'm kind of the anime guy around here.
Yeah, you are.
Well, that'd be a fun episode of Rick and Morty, fully anime style.
Ooh. Well, they did a test on Adult Swim. There's like a little short anime Rick and Morty thing. Give you kind of a taste of what that might look like, but yeah.
I mean, instead of the anime stuff featured in here kind of feels more like a shallow parody than like something they actually put their hearts into, though.
I mean, you're right. I mean, here's the thing: Rick and Morty's done anime flourishes, but not a full.
I've got a really stupid idea,
which is kind of interesting because the show's actually fairly popular in Japan.
What's your idea, Tiki?
Hayo Rick Morty-zaki.
That's a good title.
Thank you.
That's a really good title.
That's actually better than a lot of the titles they come up with for the actual show.
I don't know, it's like a Rick and Morty in a Miyazaki style where it's like a lot more just like down to earth but it still kind of have the humor. I don't know. And also, are we going to get an interdimensional cable or Morty's Mind Blowers this season? I don't think so.
Well, we've had it in the background, so I mean, they technically have covered some bases, but you're right, though.
They referenced it in both the like Mortyplicity and also the
opening for the season.
Yeah,
and a Morty King Graffiti with the flip with the guy who's perfectly good with diving but can't swim.
Right. Now remind me, do we have one in season 4?
Well, that one, Didn't we get Story Train? That was kind of the closest we. No, wait.
That was a plot. That was more of a plot episode, though.
No, you're right. I'm
Like,
saying
season 4, we did something similar to Morty's Mind Blowers. I just don't.
That's what I'm
remember
saying.
it
With the
was.
Story Train, we called it out that we didn't do it
If
specifically.
you're talking about the story, if you're talking about the Story Train, that's never Rick and Morty.
Okay.
I mean, there wasn't really, as far as I can remember, none of these were really mind blowers or interdimensional cable.
I'm just saying, man, it'd be really nice to get another interdimensional cable. Like, I don't like the plot in this season. I will say has probably been the best overall arc out of the 5 seasons. I think that's probably the best thing I can say about the season so far. But the worst thing I can say about the season so far is that I feel like the episodes that truly feel like classic Rick and Morty are kind of few and far between. I think the Mr. Nimbus episode fits that bill. I think the Planet Tina episode fits that bill. Honestly, other than that, like, I've enjoyed all the other episodes, but they don't really feel classic. You know what I mean?
Basically the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, I'll throw the clones in there as well, the replicants. That was a fun episode, sure. So I don't know, like I was saying, where, you know, like, I really wish this episode would have gone in a more like, oh my god, I made too many Gotrons, Morty, what have I done? You know, like, I want to, like, that would be a more classic premise, but at the same time, I do appreciate the storytelling. So, I don't know, I think if they just threw in an interdimensional cable, it'd do a lot to just give this season a more classic feeling, because it's been since season 2 that we got a proper interdimensional cable.
Well, who knows?
We're overdue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, considering the name of the next episode is Rick-ternal Friendshine of the Rickless Mort, so...
Okay, I do like that name.
Now, here's the interesting thing: the promo of that episode.
So that might be so considering the premise of the title of that movie, that might lead into that.
You're right. It might, yeah.
But also, the promo of that is like teasing, and I'm convinced there's just going to be a subversion. I'm convinced they're not going to do this, but the promo is teasing up a Pickle Rick send up.
Oh Christ!
But again,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
like
I think it's a bait and switch. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to say they're going to tease it up, but they're not going to do it.
What do you mean? Like, hold on.
I mean, they shouted out like they basically said the Rick in the promo basically references Pickle Rick, like another Pickle Rick is going to happen like as soon as you guys leave. Now that sounds too obvious to be actually.
Hold on. I'm going to look it. I'm looking it up right now. Hold on.
All right. Then the episode after that is Forgetting Sarek Mortshul.
I'm sure you're going to love that one, Tiki.
And then Rick Mirai Jack.
That one I'm hyped for.
Oh, Samurai Jack parody, I'm guessing?
Maybe. But again, maybe a little too obvious namesake was. I don't know.
The show does have a bit of a sordid history with Samurai Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately,
and it being on Adult Swim, so.
Yeah.
I mean, ever since the infamous April Fool's Day.
I hated that April Fool's Day joke.
Okay, I kind of missed that. Tell me the names of the episodes again. Sorry.
Okay, there's Rick-ternal Friendshine of the Rickless Mort, Forgetting Sarek Mortshul, and Rick Mirai Jack.
I think Tiki hit a button.
Yeah.
I'll resume it. I'll tell him once again when he comes back.
Okay, well, just to circle back to something, though, I do want to just, with the 5 Rick families, again, I know the Scorsese parody of it all, because, you know, I've seen a lot of the Scorsese movies, and I really do like that style, and it's doing basically kind of a blend of Goodfellas and Casino, which is that signature style and everything with the voiceover, and then we have like this mounting too big to fail aspect of, you know, we're going to turn this into a family business. It went from like a family business to a full-on operation. You know, we got Big Fat Rick, we got Ricardo Montoya, which essentially is the Tony, which essentially is Scarface.
Your head is different. It's like, no, we're not. We're exactly the same. It's like, you're so fat, your head's an optical illusion.
I love Hothead Rick because that's Sonny Corleone from The Godfather. That's really funny.
Hothead Rick is probably the best of the Rick variants.
And when he destroyed them, it's like, yeah, Hothead Rick. Then they said it was like, I walked into that one.
Ricky, wrap it up. Now the best of the Ricks. Yo-Yo Rick. Now, Yo-Yo Rick.
Yo-Yo Rick is already like a huge internet fan favorite, dude.
Well, I'll tell you why. I love Yo-Yo Rick for two reasons. One, I think he's kind of the Fredo of the group. If Hothead Rick's Sonny, then Yo-Yo Rick's Fredo.
He's a loser, but he's a loser, but he owns it.
And also, I like him because he killed Jerry. He killed a Jerry.
Right.
Minus one Jerry.
Yep.
Poor Jerry.
What you guys think of the gun that Rick had with the bang bang thing?
Bang, 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 bang. Say hello to my little me.
That was
bang,
funny.
bang, bang, bang.
That was good.
You know what? I got to admit, that was probably the point of the episode where I was like, okay, we're doing bullets that are little Ricks. All right, that's a little much.
Watch that be merchandise in the future?
Probably.
Sure.
At least the Funko.
Like the Boob World hats are probably going to be actual merchandise later.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we're going to Boob World.
And a person who hasn't seen the show looks at someone wearing one, being confused. Like, what's Boob World?
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, any other things we need to touch on this time around?
Just, Morty, though, had a really nice arc in the episode, too, where, we see him standing by family, even when accosted by, the Speed Racer parodies of the old school anime parodies who actually have run the Gotrons.
Now, I like the Speed Racer parodies, like I said, just because they are pretty blatantly just, like, the oldest of the old school anime. Like, they are, like, it is, like, the roots of anime that they're parodying here.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I love, like, just more like calling out the status quo of, like, we have this kind of out of character thing with Beth and Jerry, where they're just like, no, F that, we hate Summer now. Where it's like, really? You hate your own daughter that much, and we're just gonna turn on it like on a dime? I don't know. It just felt a little. Yeah.
Can we just put it like for once this season? Like Morty didn't kill the people who kidnapped him for once this season.
Well, he killed a driver though, and he kind of was.
Well, I mean, but he didn't kill everybody this time though.
True, that is true.
Yeah.
I've heard theories that this season might be an evil Morty origin story, and that everything we're seeing is like out of chronological order, or it's like not the family we've been following.
Oh.
So
I could see that happening in
the they called Rick 137 in this episode. Isn't that like the main Rick that we follow?
I guess that's Well, you hear that, Pat? You got it wrong. All right.
Well, I mean, the Rick might be the same, but the family might not be.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true. That's a good point, actually. All right. So I think we've pretty much hit everything, right?
I mean, pretty much. We think we kind of jumped around a bit. We think we hit all the important parts. It's sort of like a band kind of breaking up vibe once the family, like Morty's out of the family essentially after that bit too. Like Beth just gives here's $1,600 we got from wiping out from the government for stepping on that trailer park. So it's. Yeah. I think we've cut the gamut. But Tiki, the promo, did you see it?
Yeah, I did. I mean, It certainly looks like they're setting up another Pickle Rick, and I hope that's not the case.
I tell you, I'm convinced. I'll bet you they're going to take a left turn. They are not going to do another Pickle Rick.
I really hope so. I think the only place that Pickle Rick belongs is as a novelty food item inside Universal Studios.
Okay.
It's a shame Warner Brothers doesn't have their own theme park in the U.S.
I mean, honestly, I think Universal could get the rights to Rick and Morty if they really wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they probably could, but I'm just saying.
All right. Well, it's been kind of quiet. Unfortunately, I kind of was expecting some people to show up in the chat, but I guess not. Woe is me, right? But hopefully y'all watching in the archives enjoy this recap, and we will be back next week talking about episode 8. And, of course, as always, we've got Monsters at Work coming up next week as well. Or
this week?
Not next week. Yeah, this week.
This week and next week, yeah.
And the week after that. And the week after that.
Yes, that's how that works, yes.
All right.
Yeah, into episode 10, yeah.
All right, so in the meantime, guys, have a good night. For some reason, I'm like blinking on Sorry.
It's a blue ferret.
Yeah,